Hello guys, welcome to another log of Digimon COLOR Monster Hunter Edition, and for today's log we have Violet Mizutsune. So yes, finally we have a new log. From my perspective, it's been a while because it takes a while to get from the egg stage to the Mizutsune young stage to the adult stage to this ultimate or so-called final stage, a perfect stage for Violet Mizutsune. So it's about 2.5 days or so, quite long, right, basically. But we have it, Violet Mizutsune here, and it's really interesting to see its profile. But anyway, before we continue with today's log, just have to say if you're a fan of Digimon or raising virtual pets, you've come to the right channel because I document every Digimon that I raise and I upload at least twice a week. If you're interested in such content, go ahead and blow some bubbles at the like and subscribe button from Violet Mizutsune and turn on all notifications so you don't miss any of my uploads. Alright, let's look at Violet Mizutsune here. So that's the English name for this monster, but in the Japanese monster is actually called Tamamitsune Kishō-shu. Kishō-shu actually means rare. I think it's rare. 稀少种. So it just literally means rare type of Tamamitsune. So I think that gives it a little bit more, I don't know. I think it's a little more unique and it gives a little more interesting kind of nuance than just calling it Violet Mizutsune. But to be fair, Violet Mizutsune also helps to differentiate this Mizutsune compared to the others. So perhaps it's more on the nose, but it's literal, I guess. But anyway, we are diving too much into etymology. Let's look at this profile on Monster Hunter Wiki. As usual, we don't have a Digimon.net page for this Monster Hunter edition, so we are looking at a Monster Hunter Fandom page. And interestingly, the in-game description, the only one that I can see from this fandom page is the one from Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak. I don't know if that means that Violet Mizutsune only appears in this game. I'm not sure about that. I'm not very familiar with the Monster Hunter franchise. But let's look at his profile here. Violet Mizutsune are Leviathans known for their beautiful lilac-colored fur. They use the fluid they secrete to slide around, targeting their prey with gas-filled bubbles. Though they appear graceful creatures, the facade quickly fades as they envelop themselves in pale flames and bathe their surrounding in beautiful but deadly inferno of white hot flame. So that's very interesting for me because so far the Mizutsune line and the Tamamitsune line basically is very water element based, right? It's about bubbles, water, because it's a Leviathan. But in this case, Violet Mizutsune actually uses flame type attacks, so it's almost like a fire element monster. And if you look at the threat level, this is the part that confounds me, because if I recall correctly, Soul Seer Mizutsune's threat level was much lower than this. I think it was like a 6-star or something, but Violet Mizutsune here is that's how many stars? 9 stars? It looks like 9 stars, am I counting correctly? 9 stars of a threat level. That means Violet Mizutsune is supposed to be of a more serious threat compared to Soul Seer Mizutsune. Yet, in this device, Soul Seer Mizutsune is the one with the higher power level, right? So we will talk more about that later when we go into his evolution conditions. So since you're done with his profile, let's wrap it up and go to our favorite website for evolution conditions, Humulus.com. Here we are on Humulus.com, a highly recommended website for all your evolution condition needs. If you're ever stuck trying to raise a specific Digimon, go to Humulus.com. You will most definitely be able to find your answer. So here we are. You can look at the evolution guide for the Monster Hunter edition. Violet Mizutsune evolves from the adult form of Mizutsune, stage 4 Mizutsune here. And the evolution requirements is very obvious. It's only 1 to 2 chem mistakes, very specific. You must have at least 1, because having 0 chem mistakes gives you Soul Seer Mizutsune. We covered that in the previous log. So if you have 1 chem mistake, it lets you get Violet Mizutsune, but you cannot have more than 2. If you have 3 chem mistakes, you're gonna get another type of Mizutsune. So be very careful about the chem mistakes here. Have 15 battles and 80% win ratio and you would be able to get your Violet Mizutsune. Aside from the evolution condition here, I like to draw your attention to power level 100. Can you see at the bottom left? So interestingly, Violet Mizutsune here only has a power level of 100. Now let's navigate to Soul Seer Mizutsune, which is the Mizutsune we had in the previous log. Here we go. The one with the more stringent conditions, and thereby a higher power level of 150. But interestingly, when we looked at the Monster Hunter Fandom page yesterday, the threat level for Soulseer Mizutsune was only 6 stars or 7 stars, something like that. So, according to the Monster Hunter lore, Soulseer Mizutsune is supposed to be of a lower threat level compared to Violet Mizutsune. But somehow in the device, Soulseer Mizutsune has a higher power level. So help me out here, guys. Maybe I'm not familiar with the Monster Hunter lore, but for those who are familiar and are watching this, let me know what's happening here. Why is Soulseer Mizutsune having a higher power level than Violet Mizutsune? Is this supposed to happen? Maybe there's something I don't know enough about the Monster Hunter lore? Or am I right that the designer of this line just accidentally messed up and gave a weaker evolution line more power than it's supposed to have, right? And I'm afraid the last one, Apex Mizutsune, Apex sounds really powerful. I would like to look at our subsequent log on Apex Mizutsune to see if we find a similar conundrum, because as you can see, Apex Mizutsune requires more chem mistakes, which means it's it's going to be the weaker version of these two, and the power level does correspond, it's 80. But in terms of its lore, is Apex supposed to be the strongest? Ironically, I don't know. So let's check out the log for Apex Mizutsune in the next log. But meanwhile, let's go back to Violet Mizutsune here, and those are its evolution conditions. I hope this helped. Anyway, since you're done with its evolution conditions, let's take a closer look at its sprite, shall we? Alright, here we are. Let's look at Violet Mizutsune's sprite here. Let's zoom in a little bit more. Oh man. Let's zoom in a little bit more. Alright, this is it. Oh, it looks good. Honestly though, it does look like it's just a recoloration of the Soulseer Mizutsune sprite, or the Mizutsune's adult sprite, honestly. So let's see if there's any other significant differences aside from that recoloration. But of course, the key difference here versus the Soulseer Mizutsune is that Soulseer Mizutsune has a blackened eye. I think it's supposed to be blind, and that's why it has a blackened eye, whereas obviously you can see that the Violet Mizutsune here has its eyes. So let's see its eating animation. Here we go. That's it eating. Oh, it looks so happy eating. Let's give it another piece of meat. Let's see, eat a piece of protein. Here we go, some protein. Yeah, the Japanese word literally translates into protein. Yeah? That's why there's a thing called protein overdose. Alright, let's see the training animation. Oh, that's the one you missed. So it would have been interesting to see flames, because they did say that they can use flame attacks. So having flames would be more interesting as an attack animation. But it seems that they just use the same animation for all the Mizutsune. They are just bubbles. Alright, I gotta better focus here, because I'm looking at the screen and it's really hard to aim. Let's go. Alright, there we go. This is happy animation. Happy animation. Let's see its happy animation once more. Yep. Kind of looks like the feeding animation, right? Let's see the feeding animation again. Almost the same. Almost a slightly different, yeah. At least it chomps down here. Let's see the angry animation again. Alright, this is a happy animation. Yeah, looks kind of similar but different, but angry is very obvious, yeah. Alright, that's its angry animation. Okay, how about Violet Mizutsune saying nope? Oh, it says no in the same way as all the other Mizutsune lines. Okay, and let's see its battle animation just for fun. Its power level is low, so chances are it won't be able to beat the final stage. But anyway, we actually have the final stage beat offline, right? When I was trying to record, I'm trying to get Soulseer Mizutsune, to move on and pass on. Somehow Soulseer Mizutsune managed to defeat the final stage a couple of times actually, so it's really strong. Yeah, it's just RNG being weird. Anyway, wow, we managed to get through the first stage of final. I'm surprised. I don't know how far it'll go though. This is up against Soulseer Mizutsune. It's supposed to be a notch weaker. Right? And obviously we didn't make it. I think the color of the bubbles is slightly different for Soulseer Mizutsune compared to... Oh, it looks the same. It's the same. It must be my eyes playing tricks on me. I thought the color of the bubbles looked different. Wow. Seems like a close fight, surprisingly. I thought we would be weaker. Oh yeah, but I think we're getting defeated here. Boom. Yep. Alright, and that's as far as it goes. It's weaker, honestly, so that's how it is. Alright, and then let's take a look at the sleeping animation. We're featuring this background because this is one of the backgrounds we unlocked, but we're gonna move on to the next one after this. Yeah, so stage 3, stage 4, stage 5, just feature all of them unless it's a new one that we unlock because of the evolution line, then we'll feature that new background. This is Violet Mizutsune sleeping. I think its sleeping animation is similar to all the other Mizutsune, so nothing really unique about this, just that it's recolored. But it is cute, one of the cuter sleeping animations. And that's it for today's log for Violet Mizutsune. If you haven't already, please go ahead and scowl the like and subscribe button with Violet Mizutsune's gas-filled bubbles, which are supposed to be very hot, and turn on all notifications so you don't miss any of my uploads. I document every Digimon that I raise, and I have playlists for Vital Bracelet, Vital Bracelet BE, Digimon Color, Digimon Pendulum Color, and Digivice Color Evolution as well, so please feel free to check them out. Otherwise, thank you for watching. See you in the next video. Bye!